Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 14, text number 34. Ittam vavasistahantam rishayoruddhamanyavaha nijagnurhun kritervenam atam achyuta nindaya. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, without using any weapons, the sages killed King Vena simply by high-sounding words. Text 35. Rishibhihi swashramapadam gate putra kalevaram Sunitha palayamasa vidya yogena sochati. After all the sages returned to their respective hermitages, the mother of King Vena, Sunitha, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by the application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras, mantra yogena. Text 36. Ekada munayaste tu sarasvat shalila pluttaha utvagnin satkatas chakrur upavishtaha sharittate. Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in the river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. After this, sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. Text 37. Vikshyotitam stadotpatan ahur loka bhayankaran api avadram anataya dasyubhyo na bhaved bhuvaha. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were creating panic in the society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk among themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves. Purport. Whenever there is a disturbance in the state or a panic situation, the property and lives of the citizens become unsafe. This is caused by the uprising of various thieves and rogues. At such a time, it is to be understood that the ruler of the government is dead. All of these misfortunes happened due to the death of King Vena. Thus, the saintly persons became very anxious for the safety of the people in general. The conclusion is that even though saintly persons have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. Thus, even though they are always aloof from the society, out of mercy and compassion, they consider how the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of the Varnashrama Dharma. That was a concern of these sages. In this age of Kali, everything is disturbed. Therefore, saintly persons should take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, as recommended in the Shastras, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyita. Both for spiritual and material prosperity, everyone should devotedly chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, King Vena, just by the sharp words of the rishis, coupled with him inviting all inauspiciousness into his body by blaspheming the Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Vena had no strength to withstand the force of the simply wishful thinking of the powerful rishis that he should be killed. And in this way, it is said here that King Vena was killed. At the end of Vena's story, Vena's mother Sunitha became very aggrieved because of son's death. It is said here she preserved her dead body with certain ingredients and by chanting the mantras. Typically, all symptoms of tamoguna. And then as time went by, it is said here that the rishis were taking bath in river Saraswati. They sat on the banks of the river and were talking about the transcendental person and his pastimes. But there was disturbance in the society. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country, which often created panic in the society. So that subject was also being discussed by all the rishis, the state of the country. And since the country had no king, no kshatriya, gradually great disturbance, misfortune came upon the population because of the looting, harassment, exploitation by rogues and thieves. So when there is no king, there is no kshatriya in a society, then good citizens, they live by the laws of dharma. But there is always a bunch of asuric people who do not think that's subordinate to anybody, anything, any law. They use their power at the cost of giving disturbance to others for their self-gratification. This is a mentality of a demon. The mentality of a good citizen is to understand his position his individual position as a component of the total ecosystem of not only human beings, animals, everybody, living system. Ecosystem means a system where the components are all living and there is interaction among them. A country is an ecosystem. ISKCON Bangalore is an ecosystem. So some people, they don't know or they don't recognize that they are part of an ecosystem. And their attitude is to simply take from the system for themselves by hook or crook. Every citizen gives to the society and takes from the society. But that giving to the society in the form of performing his duties and taking from the society in the form of what is entitled to him as per the laws of dharma, and that is a healthy giving and taking from the society. Giving and taking from another person. But what is improper, what is adharma, what is typical mentality of a demon or demoniac nature is he is self-centered. He is always thinking about himself. And to cater his lust, anger, greed, all those things is inside him. Because of his lust, to get everything for him without giving the right kind of duty, contribution to the society. What does a thief do? Why you call somebody a thief? Because he takes something which he has not earned. The material world is very important. What you have not earned, when you try to pocket it, he is called a thief. Rogue. Who is a rogue? You snatch away something which other people have earned. That is rogue. So in the society, just see, when there are always two kinds of people, demoniac and divine, there has to be a kshatriya. That is why in the social system, varnashrama dharma is so well balanced. It's an ecosystem which brings prosperity to every member of that society. So it's a divine arrangement. Varnashrama system is a divine arrangement for Jivatma. Jivatma is always tiny and small. Each individual has his duties as per his varna and ashrama, duty to himself, his family members, everything. Just like if you see now, the government, present government collects taxes on the people who earn. Where does the government get tax from? People pay tax. How can people pay tax? They work and they earn. and they pay tax. And what does the government do with the tax money? They spend it for the larger good. After paying your tax, your money is for you. Do what you want. But a society cannot run simply by everybody doing what they want. It becomes selfish. Therefore, some kind of government is always there. Because there are certain things, for instance, as an individual, I may not build a road. My mind doesn't go, my interest is not there, nothing. But road is required for everybody in the city, in the country. Correct? So many other things, electricity, all these things, setting up electricity. You may pay for your electricity, but who set up that electricity? Where did they get the money from? So always there is a common good fund that goes as it comes from tax. So this is what the Kshatriyas do in a society. They ensure that your earning is not stolen by somebody else. Kshatriyas ensure that there is fairness and justice in the community, in the society. Otherwise, where is there is peace? Where is peace? We take for granted, at this time, in this country, things are nice and smooth. We take for granted. But you see, in war-torn countries, there is no rule, there is no law. What you get, you eat. Might is right. Total chaos. The whole country. Only the guy who was stronger, if somebody who is stronger than you comes and enters your house, today you can go to the police station. And then the state will protect you. If there is a war, there is no police force, nothing. What happens? A strong man comes, takes over your house. You don't know anywhere to go. He is stronger, so you have to surrender. So might is right. What is that law? Where is that law? That law is in the jungle. That law is in the jungle. So once there is no governance, then there is jungle. Jungle life. But all these things collapse in Kali Yuga. Even if there is a government, it is not, of course it is not become so bad as Kali Yuga goes, it becomes very bad. Something is there now. But that something is not having good intention. They are corrupt. There is a lot of selfishness. Out of this good activity I do, let me also make money. Corruption is there. So there is no honesty among people who hold the common good fund, which is the government money, which is coming from the people. So they don't know how to, so there is no honesty in that. So a lot of things are topsy-turvy. At least we should know that there cannot be peace and prosperity without a good social system. Something, whether this ism or the communism, socialism, democracy, whatever ism it may be, something has to be there. But unless there is this varnashrama ism, there won't be peace and prosperity in the nation. The rulers themselves will become rogues and thieves. The rulers themselves will become rogues and thieves. This is all predicted in Kali Yuga, in Srimad Bhagavatam. So just imagine, now let us say in war-torn places, now you sit here, you in your house, you feel you're safe, protected, everything. But once there is, let's say Gaza, what security people have? Because what security do the leaders have? They also don't have security. They don't have food. They get, otherwise they don't get. There's no occupation. The only occupation is what? Go around for food. There are no industries, there are no occupation, nothing. The only occupation of the animal is what? Search for food. And fight for food. It's a terrible suffering, isn't it? So first thing we have to understand is that there has to be a system, social system. Just because you are in a system and you are getting what you want, don't take for granted. In no time, things can collapse. So what is the solution for this? That solution Prabhupada is explaining, that Prabhupada, not only Prabhupada, it's a Vedic, Prabhupada is revealing the Vedic social organization by which there can be material and spiritual prosperity. Prosperity in Krishna consciousness, prosperity of the material world is not excluded. Krishna consciousness has the solution within itself to give material prosperity to the country. If the Lord is pleased, then all defects are rectified automatically. All negative effects in the society are automatically getting adjusted. Like the other day we discussed. It is a Sankirtana that is going on, that is still keeping this world livable. So normal yajnas are not possible. The normal system, just like we in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada has given us a lifestyle. We all wake up in the morning. Till about 9-10 o'clock we are doing yajna. Different yajnas we are doing. Whereas in the regular Vedic system in the society, same thing. Till about 10 o'clock, everybody is engaged in different kinds of worship of the deities, japa, all these things. There are sacrifices, engaging in sacrifice. So just like we finish our morning program, we're ready for our occupation, ready for our work of preaching Krishna consciousness. This is the consciousness of a normal, good society. They prepare their mind to be sattvic by performing all the morning oblations, this thing, that thing, everything, rituals. They do all that and they get ready for their occupational duty. If you're a farmer, you're a farmer. If you're Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But common is everybody in the morning is engaged in different kinds of sacrifices. And that brings prosperity. So today all those things are not possible, and the only sacrifice that is possible is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sankirtana. Yajnai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedasha. So therefore, just like we see here, we don't worry too much about prosperity. We don't worry too much about our needs. All those things we don't worry. The community here engages in Sankirtana, in Yajna, the most powerful Yajna that prescribed in the scriptures for Kali Yuga. See how this works. When we are a small temple to big temple, to big temple, to big temple, needs are so much expanding, but we never calculate where it comes from. So this itself is the evidence that Sankirtana brings prosperity. Each of ISKCON temple is a proof. Of course, there if sinful activity goes on, if there is no yajna, then it turns into any normal material world. All the features of the material world manifest in the temple. Fighting, beating. When there is no administration, what happens? Just like rogues and thieves take advantage. So some people see that, oh, here is a authority who is engaged in breaking principles, not accountable for money. Then naturally, all kinds of things will happen. As I said, leaders become rogues and thieves. What happens? People have trust and faith in a leader that he imparts justice and fairness. When rogues and thieves, that's their nature. Rogues and thieves, their nature is that. They try to exploit them. Therefore, Kshatriya needs power. They have the power. In management, in administration, they have power. Power is used for the right thing. If Sankirtana is not performed, either the individual or the group, they become spiritually weak. Even somebody would have thought with a good intention, came to Krishna consciousness. I want to surrender to Krishna and come to Krishna consciousness. Later on, due to lack of sadhana, weakness, guna, kala, karma, all old material tendencies of lording over will come. So started off in a good way, but you don't follow the instructions of Prabhupada. Instead of getting purified, you will water your anarthas. You will live in the midst of devotees for power, position. Nothing more fallen than that. If you have to do that, at least do honestly outside. Earn power. Not in a devotional community. There one has to act as a servant, and continuously maintain purity by association with the Supreme Lord. That Prabhupada has given that formula. You don't have to worry. Simply stay in the follow the lifestyle given by Prabhupada. Engage in the entire morning program. Whatever according to different times, kala, whatever forceful karmic forces that come up will be nicely dovetailed in Krishna's service and will not turn into an anartha, building one's own, feeding one's anartha. It will not become. So we have to lead a pure life. If we are not pure, how we can lead a pure life? Okay, that will be the question. I am not pure, how do I lead a pure life? Yeah, we are not pure. That is why every day we have to every day we have to do something to remain pure. Our purity is a day-to-day purity. But still without purity nothing will happen. Purity is a force. A pure devotee, he is pure. He is pure. Always. Irreversibly. He is pure. Does not depend on sadhana and all. He is pure. We are also told to remain pure. But one day if you don't do your 16 rounds, you're gone. Your purity is gone. You do your 16 rounds, you follow what Prabhupada has said, morning program, everything. Then, even though you are not pure, you will enjoy the benefits of being pure. That means you will not be misled by Maya. You will be guided by the Lord. He will guide our life, even though we are not pure. A bhakta joins, how much purity is there? Only gradually he becomes pure. But still, if he follows the program, his day will be pure. This is very important for us to understand this. That we can live a pure life by following the method of purification given by Prabhupada of a good morning program. And you get all the benefits of purity. Just see how this whole temple came up. The secret was a very good morning sadhana of everybody. It was enforced. Not a small thing, such a big temple to come up. But we didn't even feel, it just came up. Because yajna, individually it purifies you, plus for the whole group, that is it. That's why it is very, very simple formula. To open any number of temples, it will all sustain. Resources will come, devotees will join, everything will happen. We have to patiently execute the Sankirtana Yajna on a day-to-day, daily basis. Such a community will materially and spiritually prosper. What is material prosperity for us? Material prosperity is that there should be enough resources for different services that we want to do for Guru and Krishna. Abundance of resources to serve Krishna. That is prosperity. Any questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।